What is up, and welcome to another Loose Beats, where our motto is chill out and make a beat. I'm Toby A.K.A Kushing from the T&D channel. Make sure you check out everything we do. And today, I'm going to be showing you how to master with Ozone 10. I wanted to kind of start from the beginning, when you're kind of done with your mix, but not quite. You don't have to have a perfect mix to start where we're starting today. So first off, let's hear the song that we heard in the intro here. Let's just start from kind of our drop area and see what we're sounding like so far. Alright, so starting from here, what I like to do is go in. So I can hear that it's a little bit muddy through this area. So a couple little final things that I'll do as we're figuring this out will be, I'm going to pull back this guitar a little bit, have that set back, and then I'm going to pull up our synth that we have, at least in the beginning. So we're going to look right here. Yeah, so it's just because it's a little bit lower of an octave there, because I have it kind of moving up and down through the part that's a little bit higher of an octave, so it might just need a boost up front. But honestly, don't want to move it too much, because the reason I like to start mastering a little early is so I can see what my mix needs to be changed and what direction I need to change, right? So let's just start from here. And so the first thing, I always like to drop down my volume. A lot of people say in between, I've heard all the way from like 17, negative 17 to negative 23. I hear a lot of that. I kind of go in the middle. I like a 18, 19. So I'm going to go in negative 19.1 dB, and we're going to bounce this out into another project real quick, okay? So let's bounce this whole project just in the loop here, and then get it into a bouncing project. Yeah, we're going to 57. Wet blanket, and you're gonna have to label all your mixes: mix 1, mix 2, master 1, master 2, shit like that. So we're gonna save this real quick. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up another project here, a new project. Don't close it, because you're gonna have to go back and mess with your mix a little bit after. So I'm just gonna open up an audio track. And then we're going to go in and we're going to import our audio file here. And there's our mix that we just got. It doesn't matter about the tempo and markers, but you can import them if you want. So now we've got it in here at a really low, 19. It's going to be real quiet. And honestly, the song's kind of mixed loud at 0. So it's something that I may need to push down even further to a 20 or something. But right now, let's leave it here. And then let's go over to our audio effects. And then we're going to go into our Izotope. And then Ozone 10. Bring up the whole thing. And so a couple different ways to start. Again, I talked about this when we went over Neutron 4. If you know what you're doing and you know what sound you like, if it's the right type of genre, the right voice, if everything's kind of what you've been working on, you know how to do it, you can just start here and start adding your equalizer and start pulling, where you think you need, right? But what's cool about it is the assistant, of course, that comes in here, and it likes you to start at your louder points, right? So we're going to start at like this 9, and we're going to send it through and let it analyze it for us. All right. All right, so it's got us a mastering chain started here. And basically, once you hear it boosted and cleaned up just a little, you're going to want to get excited. But you're not going to get excited yet because there's still so much to do. And, it's a game. You got to play back and forth. So on this front page is cool. We have target tone matches. So you can actually go in and find one. Like I have one built here for my Vox already, but basically you can put in your old songs or you can put in other artist songs. You could load up like the vocals from a big artist that you like, and it will find the tone match of how the master is done. And so from here, it will give you a general curve similar to whatever you're trying to match, right? And this one found us a cinematic tone match, a width match. You've got dynamics that you can mess with here, but really, you don't. You only want to get into this if you have a target that you're already going for. But what it does give you is the start of your mastering chain here, which is nice. That saves you some time. Like it went in, it found our equalizer, it pulled down our bass a little bit, probably saw that was a little muddy, probably saw that we don't have enough clarity in here, so it gave us a nice little curve between like 3,000 or so here, and then threw us on a stabilizer. Impact, it really gave us everything. Imager, which is, some of these I haven't worked with as much because I only use a select few for my masters. I don't normally use this impact here, but the imager is nice. You can find sections, so I can move this and find our frequency overlap sections and basically make little chambers, right, that I can go in and adjust the stereo width for, and boost some gain in each little frequency section, which is cool. And then we've got a dynamic EQ, which Izotope does great on these. It's an EQ that only pulls down that tone. You can direct it to go up. Enables upward and downward. So it's like basically it only triggers in that direction that you place it if it needs to be taken out, so it doesn't take out other parts of your mix that you don't want to lose. You got a maximizer here. There's a lot of stuff to get into and work. This is my first glance at it, and basically the only other things I go in and add from working with Ozone 9, I add in this master rebalance, which is always helpful. Like to leave it second here. I'm not sure if some people do it first, but I kind of want it going through the entire thing, going through that EQ first. It really depends on your preference there. And then we want to go add a low end focus. Those are the two that I tend to use really to kind of tame your bass. And so with this master rebalance, we go in and we can pick between these three: vocals, bass, or drums. And it's going to pick that out of the mix and bring them up a little bit. So let's go with drums. Let's bring them in here. Yeah, it has them boosted quite a bit already, but as you can see, you can push the gain a little bit, and the difference between your blue frequency line and that gray one is where it finds drum frequencies. So it's trying to leave out the other aspects of your mix. And so if we push that a little bit, you can hear. You can hear how much it boosts them right away. Now, if we hit it on these vocals, since we don't have vocals, a lot of times it will find a thing like a synth, whatever's doing your melody, you know? So let's see if it'll boost that for us. Yeah, ever so slightly, but honestly, the vocal button here really does well for picking out your vocals, and it honestly could tell that that wasn't a vocal. It could tell that it was a instrument, which so it's really not for anything other than your vocals if you want them to stand out. And now we can hear like our bass boosted up a little bit in this section too. That shines. Yeah, that really pops it out. But I'm going to leave it on the drums for now. I'm just going to give it a little gain boost. And then the reason why I'm not using it for the bass is because this low end focus is really nice. So you can come in here and you can pick your range, you know, wherever you want the cutoff range to be of this boosted signal. And you can change the contrast and the gain, and you can decide whether it's punchy or smooth. So depending on the song, the punchy, you know, if you want the bass to be hitting really hard, if you're working with more 808s that don't really ring out, you know, you want the kick sound, you're going to get that punchy. But if you're working with a real bass or like kind of an R&B style playing, which this one's more in the vein of, you want to go with the smooth. And then your contrast is going to change how mixed in it is, how it can really separate your bass from the mix a little bit. So I'm going to bump this contrast. And then I'm going to bump the gain a little bit, just a tad. We're going to see how this is coming in now. That's nice. Honestly, I'm going to try the punch. I'm going to give it a little more contrast and a little more boost. And see if that pulls out. Because I want those hits to be strong, you know. It's starting to get there. It definitely needs a few other things, a little wider range, I think a little more gain. And then our mastery balance, we might want to pull our drums back down, honestly. And kind of keep them level here. And you can pull them down too if they're too loud. You know, your gain goes down as well. So both directions there. Yeah, so that's a lot closer already. So from here, again, why I like to start early is so I can hear in these headphones, which these are I use for mixing and mastering. And, you know, I'm not going to gloss over the fact that you're going to have to listen to them on every speaker that you have. I like to start with these and get the high end in the mix taken care of, make sure hi-hats aren't peaking or, you know, getting any clipping in them. And then I like to move to the speakers here. So I have some 8s here that I listen to in stereo. You know, you got to blast it and kind of see how your balance is there, because right away when I get my vocals sounding good in these, I switch them over to the monitors, and they're just like, oh, okay, they're trash all of a sudden. And so now you go back and then you do a touch-up mix on your song through the speakers. And then you go back and forth. We're going back and forth. We're hearing them here, mixing them, and then we're putting the headphones back on, making sure we didn't mess up our previous mix that we created. So we're going back and forth between those, and then we're going to the car, right? So these are some other things I can't show you in this video. I'm just talking about them. So like once you get a mix sounding good on the headphones, you jump to the speakers. Once you get that one sounding good, you jump to the car. The car is where it's going to sound terrible no matter what. And for me, I never get the car master right before I hear it. So it takes me a few times. I run back and forth to the car. I come back in and adjust some things that were not sounding right in the car speakers. Because, car speakers aren't meant to be like the best audio listening medium, right? And so once we get the car sounding half decent, even before we're done with that, you move to the phone. And so now we're hearing what people will probably hear it on. Like most people listen through a phone. They don't have great speakers or headphones, They're just checking shit out on Instagram and Spotify. So for the average listener, you're gonna have it on the phone. So that one you're doing in between. So in the same way that we tried to get our mix right in our headphones and our speakers, now we're going back and forth between the car and the phone. So we're gonna run out to the car, we're gonna fix it, we're gonna hear what's wrong, come back in, fix it, go back out until it sounds half decent, then throw it on the phone, and then we're gonna do the same thing back and forth between the car and the phone until both of them sound right, because they are completely different masters. Like it's honestly seems like streaming services should have different masters for what you're listening on. Like to me that would make a lot of sense, because I listen to stuff on my phone, like a more modern rap like Amigos or something like that. Like they mix so high end. Their hi-hats and their vocals are so boosted in the high frequencies and the very low, and they take out a lot of mid, to the point to where like if I listen to Spotify, a new rap song in these headphones, it will fucking hurt my ears. Like it is way too much. And if I listen to it on my phone, it's very clear and it yells out to you. The phone and the car seem to sound good with a lot of those masters, but they never sound good in the studio. And so it almost seems like they should do that. But the point, I guess, is to get the closest overall master you can get where everything sounds pretty good. Because, again, you're going to want to lean in some direction. Like I want them to be perfect in these headphones, but that's not what's going to sound best on everything, So it's a lot of back and forth. I know I know you thought it was going to be easy with Ozone, but it is just a little bit easier. You still have to put the work in, And so from here, you're going down. You are adjusting your equalizer, everything along the way. And you can go through and really find out where you need to tweak sections that you want up. Like I'd like a little bit more. I can even add a section if I wanted to, but I'm honestly might just pull this mid-low section a little tighter and then boost its stereo width here. And let's see how that does. See, that's sounding a lot nicer and clearer. And there is so much more on both of these, on the Neutron 4 and on the Ozone 10. I'm going to have to make a second video at some point to dive into a lot of these extra things you can do. But for now, this is kind of how I get a rough master. And I really just work it out by running back and forth between the car and the phone, the headphones, and just seeing what I need to tweak on every little thing. So from this perspective, again, now we would go back to, we have a basic kind of master of what we want to push, but two things that I can clearly tell are like, I think I want to pull the drums back just a little bit in volume. I may, push the gain and the mastering plug in, but I think I want to go back and I want to just ever so slightly pull back our drums here. We've got them pretty high. So we're going to pull back that volume just a couple notches. You go notch by notch when you're mastering. You know, you don't make broad strokes when you're doing this. You got to master number 2, mix number 2. You just keep grinding it out. And the other thing was the bass. I think I actually want, so I have the bass kind of coming in a little slower here. But I just want it a little bit louder. I wanted to punch it up just a little bit. So I'm gonna pump it up in both of these areas here. And we're gonna test it out and see what we come out to. Let's see, we got quite a bit of a jump here. We got 0.9, and this one's, let's see if we can get it. Okay, so we got these lined up, and we're gonna give them that little punch, pull back the drums. If everything you hear, you come back and you adjust just slightly. I think the guitar's at a good level. I think the synth is up front like it should be. It may need some more automation work depending. But for now, I think that was all we needed, was just a little bit of tweak. So we're going to take this and we're going to bounce once again. And we're going to keep it at that 19. I don't think that volume needs to be changed. And now we're on mix number 2. I know it's a process, but this is what it takes, I mean, unless you're a genius, some people can just come in and have great ears and they have done enough masters to where you can already hear your problems before you get there in your mix. But if you're like me, I actually need to hear it boosted to know where my problems in my mix are after I get a basic one, So we're going to go back over here. And so we've already got the start of our master in our plugin. So all we're going to do is just bring in the new mix. Going to import audio file. Mix number 2. Don't care. Okay, so now we've got just that slight change. And let's hear how it comes through our Ozone now. So it definitely did help, but you've kind of got to, you can balance it out here and there. So it's like that time I think I pulled the drums back a little too much. So I'm going to boost them just ever so slightly back. Just a little bit. And then our bass, probably the same. I'll keep it punchy. I want that contrast high, I honestly do, but I might pull the gain back down. So that is getting a lot closer already. And again, at this point is where I would start taking it to the car. And it might not be fair because I'm not sure, after the compression of uploading this video and stuff, I'm not sure how the master is going to sound on your end. But right now I'm just, doing it to this, my headphones. I'm just working with the headphone mix right now. Trying to get that balanced out, and now is where I'd start moving again over to the speakers, the car, and the phone, And it really is just a process. You got to go back and forth. This plugin helps so much by giving you all the tools and also analyzing it for you and giving it an initial boost and initial EQ starts. But this is where it gets tedious. You got to go in and actually really get you got to do some surgery on this song. You got to be the surgeon and the patient, and you got to fix your own shit. But that's pretty much it for our first look here. I do want to come back and break down even more of what this can do. It's got a lot of different controls and a lot of different things. And thank you to Izotope for sending us this program to show you guys. I think it's cool. I fuck with them. They keep putting out better stuff. Their AI shit works better and better every time I try it. So I definitely would suggest getting this Ozone and that Neutron 4. They're very helpful for mixing and mastering. And that's just the start. Like I again, maybe next time I'll do a full breakdown video where you actually watch me go out to the car and see it on the phone. I can show you little tweaks you have to make along the way. But that's a whole different video. This one's really just a debut of Ozone 10. And we fucking love you guys. Make sure to check out everything else we do on the channel. We've got a Patreon too, where we do extra music shows, podcasts. We watch movies. We got a lot of extra content over there. And make sure to check out Kushing, which is what I release my music under. Again, on Spotify, on our channel. We've got a playlist for my stuff there. So make sure to check out that as new stuff comes out. And lastly, Real Bird. I'm rocking it today. This is the It's a Cult shirt, which is fucking awesome. Make your granny cringe and get you an It's a Cult shirt. This is one of the hats. We got a little panel hat with the Real Bird logo on it. And check all that shit out. Get some merch. Get some swag. I love y'all. And we'll see you soon. Bye.